Hi, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Illustrator to use simple shapes and tools to make a simple animal. So first, you're going to go to Create New, and you're going to use a custom artboard that's 5 inches by 5 inches. The default for the measurements are usually points, so make sure it is checked on inches. And you can just double check that it says 5 inches by 5 inches and then hit create. And in your Schoology folder, I posted an image of a simple mouse template that I want you to click on to make it larger and then download the image. Once you have downloaded, you can drag it to a place where it's easy to find. I just dragged it here to my desktop. You can see it here. And I'm going to go back to Illustrator. And I'm going to go to File, Place. Place is like Adobe's version of import. And then I'm going to find my mouse file, which I know I saved on my desktop, so it's easy to find. And there it is. I'm going to click, and it's humongous. So I'm going to have to zoom out, view, zoom out. The shortcut is Control plus, Control minus. So I'm going to hold on the Control key and just hit the minus key until I zoomed out enough to see the whole thing. I'm going to make sure my black cursor or the selection tool is selected and then just make it smaller. I like to hold down the Shift key so that it makes it smaller to scale so it doesn't get all warped and stretched out and skinny. And I'm going to just keep doing that until it's about the size of my artboard. Once it's about the same size and it's about in the middle, I'm going to go to View, Fit Artboard in Window so I can see the whole thing. I'm going to move it over a little bit so that it is in the middle. So I want to just make sure your interface is the same as mine. So up here, there's a little icon of switch, and if you hover over it, it says switch workspace. You can click it and just make sure it says essentials. I'm going to go over here to the right and go to my layers panel. I want to make sure this panel on the bottom is locked so that I won't be able to edit or move around or change this bottom layer template. And I might even go in and rename by double clicking and type in the word template so I can stay organized. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new layer, which is where I'm going to add my shapes onto. And I'm going to start with the rectangle tool. So the rectangle tool is here. If you hover over it, it should say rectangle tool. The shortcut is the letter M. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to start with the body. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to estimate the rectangle. And so that I can see it better, I am going to change the fill and the stroke of that shape. Right now, my fill is white, and my stroke, which is the rectangle with the inside cut out, has a red line through it. That means it's transparent. It has no color. I'm going to switch that so that my fill is transparent, and then I'm going to change my stroke so that it's black so I can see it. But you could really choose any color that you can see. Maybe I'll even choose blue. So that when you click off it, you should be able to see your shape. So I'm going to use my whole selection tool to select my rectangle shape. So when you have selected the rectangle, you will see squares for the anchor points, and you will see little circles that will change your corner shape. If you click and hold on the little circle and pull it in towards the middle, you can see the corners are getting rounded. But I don't want that. So I'm going to undo that by hitting Control Z. And then I am going to go to the direct selection tool so that it will change just the corner that I have selected. So I'm going to go to this anchor point. And then when I select it, I know it's selected when it's filled in with color. And then I'm going to select that circle again and pull the corner in. I'm also going to do the same thing to this corner to make the body shape. I'm going to click it, select the circle, and pull the body in. I'm going to undo just so I can show you a shortcut. If you want to do two corners at the same time, you can select this top anchor point, then hold down the shift key and select this bottom left anchor point. And now when you click on the circle and drag it in, it will do both corners at the same time so that they are equal. So my body shape is not exact. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I am going to select the black hole selection tool and move the whole shape. Oops, I'm going to select the shape. Because it's not filled in, I have to make sure I select the line and move it over so it fits a little bit better and scoot it in. I could also drag this corner in. I'm going to go back to the direct selection tool and make sure my corner is selected. I'm going to undo and drag in that corner. Okay, it's not perfect, but that's fine. Okay, now I am going to work on the head and I need a rounded triangle shape. So I'm going to go back to the rectangle tool, and this time I'm going to press and hold down until I get a little menu of options, and I'm going to click the polygon tool. If I click and drag, it'll make the last shape that I was working on, which in this case looks like a hexagon. I don't want that, so I'm going to hit Control Z, and instead I'm going to click once, and a little box should show up, and you can change the sides. I want a triangle, so I'm going to change it to 3 sides, click OK, and there is my triangle shape. I can rotate my triangle by hovering over one of the anchor points, and you should see a double-headed curved arrow that looks like this, and that is the symbol for rotate. I'm going to rotate it, and then I can click the corner to scale it. And then I'm going to select, Control Z. I forgot to go back to my black cursor tool, select, and drag it down. So again, because it has no fill, so that I can see where I'm working, I need to make sure I'm selecting the lines. I am going to drag it out until it fits. So same thing like I did with the body. I want to change the corner so that it's rounded. I'm going to go back to my direct selection tool. And I'm going to select just that anchor point, hold down the shift key, just that anchor point, and then drag it in. Okay, you can see I make a lot of mistakes, which is why I say the undo Control Z shortcut is your best friend. Okay, next we need to do the eye, the sleeping eye. So if you go to the line segment tool, it looks like a diagonal line. If you hover over it, it should say line segment tool. If you click and hold on that, it will give you different options. I'm going to go to the arc tool. So this one is not the most accurate. You're just going to have to kind of do your best. And here we go. And once I have that, I can go back to my arrow, rotate it, or change the scale by dragging it out. And then I'm going to click out so I can see it. That's good enough for me. I'm going to go back to this arc tool, hold down and choose the line segment tool so I can go ahead and make the whiskers. And then now I'm going to do my nose. I'm going to do a triangle. So I'm going to click the polygon tool. And since the last polygon I did was a triangle, it should still be a triangle. So I'm going to make a triangle that's about the size of my nose, go back to the black cursor, move it down. And for this, I'm going to change the fill to black. And then for the stroke, I am going to change to none. Okay, I should be able to click out. It's not perfect, but I can. For little details like this, I like to zoom in. So just go to the zoom tool. It looks like a magnifying glass. And just zoom in so you can see what you're actually doing. Okay. And I could have done that earlier to work on the whole face. Okay. Next, I'm going to work on the ears. I am going to go back to my polygon tool, hold it down, and choose now the ellipse tool. The ellipse tool makes ovals and circles. If you hold down the shift key, it'll make a perfect circle. I'm going to make an oval. I'm going to change the oval so that it fits, and I will switch the fill and the stroke so that it is transparent on the inside and the stroke is black, because I want to be able to see this inner oval for the inside of the ear. And I'll select the ellipse tool again, make another oval that fits, use my selection tool to move it, and there we go.